As of today, I have ridden 113 different roller coasters. In the last video, I counted down my top 25 favorite roller coasters from number 25 to number 11. So in this video, I will be discussing my top 10 favorite roller coasters. By the way, thank you all for 2,000 subscribers. I can't believe we got another 1,000 subscribers. That's kind of crazy. By the way, I did shut down the Patreon, but hopefully channel memberships will be coming soon, so don't worry. Alright, there's nothing much else to say, so let's get straight to the point. This video will have a slower pacing to it, so it will not be as short as part 1. So where we left off in part 1 was a battle of intimate accelerators, and we are going to be starting the top 10 with one more coaster to conclude the battle. So at number 10 is the only defunct roller coaster on this list, and as you probably guessed it, it's Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point. It is really sad that I will never get to ride one of my top 10 roller coasters ever again, as we know it at least. But in 2021, when I rode it for my first and last time, I was absolutely blown away, and this is far from a one-trick pony. So you might be wondering, why do I place this over King Dakar? First of all, I'm gonna argue that the launch on Top Thrill Dragster is better than the one on King Dakar. There is something so special about Dragster's launch, and I can't quite find out what it is. Maybe it's just cause I got a front row ride on this and not King Dakar, but this launch felt more forceful to me, even though statistically it's not. The top hat on Dragster is very similar to the one on King Dakar. There's only one element on this ride, and that one element does so much. When you enter the top hat, you get slammed by positive G-forces, then there's a 90-degree twist, which gives some nice whip, and then you go up and over and get some nice airtime, then a 270-degree spiral going down, and 2 more positive Gs. It absolutely is a short ride, but the entire time you have no idea what the hell is going on. Plus, I gotta give this ride props for the incredible views it gives of Lake Erie. The other things that I love about this coaster is its iconic station music, which is Ready to Go by Republica, and the trains, which have a cool design and is comfortable to sit in. I miss this ride so much, and I can't wait to see what Top Thrill 2 has to offer. This is a ride experience I will never be able to get anywhere else. And coming in at number 9, which is one of the most underrated roller coasters in the world, is Shivering Timbers at Michigan's Adventure. This is seriously one of the best wooden roller coasters in the world, and a ride on the blue train in the left seat of row 11 hits different. This ride just gives you non-stop airtime. It's absolutely never ending. Then of course there's a turnaround and helix, which both give nice sustained laterals. Its pacing is great, and it's definitely one of the best CCI roller coasters in the world. I seriously cannot get enough of this ride, and it's kind of crazy to see that this small park has this amazing roller coaster. It is rough, but in the best way possible. Riding down the first drop in the back row gives you some crazy airtime. Best shallow drop you'll ever experience. And another ride with amazing airtime is Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is my 8th favorite roller coaster. This is one of the hidden gems of RMC, but there are some people that look down on this ride simply because the ride doesn't always duel. Since Twisted Colossus is a Mobius loop coaster, it is expected for the trains on each side to race each other. But because of how this ride works, it depends on the dispatch interval. You have to get it perfect for both trains to duel. And it does happen quite often on busier days, but please stop blaming the ride crews for this. Coaster Studios. But despite that feature, the layout is very fun. You're consistently getting slammed with back-to-back airtime hills, with a couple inversions that fly over the other track. And this thing is super long. This is the second longest RMC in the world. The thing is, midway into the ride, there is a second lift hill, which is insanely slow on the green side. So how could we fix this and make it duel every single time? Well, first of all, stopping it on the lift to wait for the other train is probably not a good idea, as it would cause more wear and tear on the chain and the anti-rollback. The only realistic way I could have seen this happening is if part of the pre-lift was exchanged for a block break, and then advance the trains at the same time. Or if you put a proximity sensor somewhere on the pre-lift that could tell the train on the stopped block break before the green lift to advance at the right time. And of course, the train before it hits the green lift would stop before entering the lift block. But that's just a thought, and the ride is amazing nevertheless. Anyways, let's move on. I'm not sure how many enthusiasts rank this roller coaster this high, but at number 7 I have Millennium Force at Cedar Point. It is not the most intense roller coaster in the world, but it is not boring. You cannot go wrong with that first drop, especially in the back row. It is absolutely amazing. That first turn is gray out inducing. And then there's 2 big floater hills surface, and a speed hill to end it all. And throughout the ride, there are many turns, but it is a terrain coaster, and you get nice views of Lake Erie, incredible views of Lake Erie. So overall, this is a great ride experience. It may not be as intense as I've heard Fury 325 or Intimidator 305 is. It does not by any means mean it's bad though. Another Intamin roller coaster in the same park alongside Lake Erie is Maverick, just missing out on the top 5 by 1 spot. This is one of the best examples of height doesn't matter, because this may only be just over 100 feet, but it is still better than so many taller rides. Those rapid fire turns are grout inducing and very intense. There's also a couple pops of ejector airtime, 2 inversions, lots of whippy transitions, a beyond vertical drop, and a launch lift hill, and a really good mid-course launch. For some reason, Intamin really liked giving Cedar Fair some stupid intense rides, but X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain is even more stupidly intense. And now we've officially entered the top 5. I've actually already made a full review of this coaster on my channel, and X2 is something that people either love or hate. And well, you could already probably tell which kind of person I am. X2 is just something special. You can't compare it to any other roller coaster in the United States, even the 40 free spins. If you actually enjoy the 40 free spins, wait until you ride X2. We've had some crazy first drops so far in this video, but this one takes the cake. At the top of the drop, the cars flip 180 degrees forward, so now your head is facing the track, and the phrase "don't look down" is practically useless. By the pull out, you've already done a full front flip. There's good high sustained positive G-forces on both Raven turns, and there are some other cool elements like the camelback and the first fly-to-lie. What people do complain about is this ride's roughness, and on my most recent ride, it was actually not a problem at all for me. Somehow, sitting in the back row was a smooth ride experience. I've ridden the inside seat of the middle row, and that still gave me big time whiplash on the last Raven turn, but otherwise, holy moly, this ride is crazy. Some of you might think I'm crazy for having an arrow in my top 5, but this thing just never fails to blow me away. My mouth is always dry on the brake run. I've still yet to ride it with any of the effects, but hopefully I'll be lucky enough to do so one day. And at number 4, we have Steel Vengeance. This thing is just pure airtime. You could tell that I was going for the record, and it executes well, with strong and sustained ejector airtime, especially on those first 2 outer banks. And basically the rest of the layout is just airtime hill after airtime hill with a few inversions in the mix. I mean, I can never really go wrong with this ride. While it is repetitive, it is very intense. And the pacing is immaculate, even with it being trimmed down, and is the second best hybrid roller coaster I've ever ridden. But the best fully wooden roller coaster that I've ever ridden is El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure, coming in at number 3. We're in the top 3 now, guys. A roller coaster that almost killed Sammy Quinn. Nah, I'm just messing with you guys, but go watch these videos. But besides all that BS, get it? Because El Toro, bull. No? Okay. But real talk, this ride is absolutely amazing and has some of the best airtime in the world. That first drop is spectacular in the back row, and those first 2 airtime hills have great sustained ejector airtime. Even the middle section is fun, but that Rolling Thunder hill is one of the biggest holy crap moments on any ride. That thing has some serious power, negative 2.2 Gs that we're talking about, which is a lot compared to what the human body can withstand. The rapid fire turns after the Rolling Thunder hill are also pretty fun, and the entire ride is well paced. It's a ride that I absolutely cannot get enough of. It is pretty re-rideable if you sit in the middle of each car. Everything leading up to after the second airtime hill is extremely smooth, which is pretty cool to see what this track is capable of. After that, it does have a mild rattle to the rest of the ride, but it's something I look past. Now we're down to the top 2, and the coaster that just misses the title of being my favorite roller coaster in the world is Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This is the best RMC creation I've ever ridden. The layout packs so much variation with all of its elements, and it's a full package when it comes to RMC. The airtime on it is also great. There's airtime where you least expect it, and it is strong. The pacing is also absolutely immaculate, and even that finale is really good, and I'm always left breathless on that brake run. A lot of people say Steel Vengeance is better for the fact that it's longer, but I prefer quality over quantity any day. So now, the moment that you've all been waiting for, my favorite roller coaster in the world is Kong at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. I know exactly which one of you I just triggered, because that's not my actual number 1. My actual favorite roller coaster of all time is Sky Rush at Hersheypark. This is another ride that's not for everyone, but this just absolutely blew me away. It is also special to me for being my 100th credit. This ride is just pure insanity the entire way through. I love airtime, and this is some of the strongest that you'll get on any roller coaster. This ride has sustained sustained ejector airtime hills peaking at -2 Gs. And that first drop is absolutely nuts. Whenever you ride this, it feels like there's something wrong. The restraints feel so minimal, well, until you get stable, but even that isn't so bad. Because that feeling of your legs getting ripped off is like no other. And no matter what, you feel like you're gonna die on that first drop. Also, the pullouts and turns have nice sustained high positive G-forces, up to a whopping 5 Gs, which is ridiculous. And it's very re-rideable. At least for me, I just can't get enough of this thing. And the rattle is present on Skyrush, but it's not bad at all. People make it out to be worse than it actually is. I know it definitely may be a polarizing opinion, but Skyrush is my all-time favorite roller coaster. And we've hit the #1 spot, so that concludes the top 25 best roller coasters I've ever been on. What are your favorite roller coasters? I want to hear. Leave them in the comments. Otherwise, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.